All right, folks, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back.
What's up? What's up? Now it's a whole different experience we're bringing to the table. We're doing the video thing, and most platforms have the video, so we're excited and working out cameras. Walt doesn't love his appearance.
No, I don't.
Walt doesn't like his lighting. But look, it's going to be a growth thing. We are committing to, you know, raising the bar here and just kind of delivering a better product, a different product, having the video pieces. We're both on TikTok now. We're doing social media just to, just another level, another layer of it. We don't do a lot of personal stuff here. This is all payroll, right? Really big on delivering good payroll content for you guys. But the TikTok, I go like way into the personal on that side of it. I think it's a great outlet, right? I'm waiting for Walt to kind of ramp up and get going over there on TikTok. But yeah, man, we're back here. We love it. We love you guys. Thanks for coming back again and checking the show. Today's going to be another true payroll crime story. Deceivers.
Yes.
Right?
Excited for this one, yeah.
Yes. Walt curated two great topics for us today. One is a CEO of a payroll company who defrauded his customers and skated away with $100 million over, what was it, 6 years that one was?
6 years. Yep.
Over 6 years, right? And then another story of a group of folks, a payroll manager that colluded with a bunch of employees. What was it, like
And
six?
family members, yeah.
And family, but they, what?
Yeah, there was family members. Remember her daughter-in-law was one of them.
Oh, but she wasn't she didn't work for the company.
Mm-mm.
See, so we got another payroll manager who colluded with a bunch of people, started adding whoever because they got greedy, and it was $1 million over 4 years. That one was.
So a
So
lot of money.
yeah, heck yeah. So get to it, man. How you doing, Walt?
Doing good. I'm excited. This is definitely, a new step for us, is doing
For
the
sure.
videos, take some vulnerability and showing yourself and
Yes.
giving people insight to who you are even more,
Agreed.
and this stuff like that. So excited and got to upgrade my stuff. But other than
Yeah,
that,
no, bro, I'm telling you, you look great. It felt the same way. We're gonna upgrade, but you're right, man. It is being vulnerable. I was really worried about it for a while. It's a different level of commitment. So yeah, but rocking Biggie. His anniversary of his death just passed this week. So R.I.P. B.I.G.
yeah.
But cool, man. Let's get into it. The first one is Michael Mann. Let's see, the bank fraud and tax fraud. His name was Michael Mann. He was a CEO of My Payroll HR out of New York. Again, all these guys just making a bad name for us, man. And New Yorkers and everything is horrible. Anywho, this went over 6 year time period from 2013 to 2019, so fairly recent. Oh, these cases are really new and fresh, and we can't find convictions yet. But we're
Well, no, he's serving his sentence.
oh, he is.
Yeah, he was already sentenced. Yeah, he got 12 years in federal prison.
Oh, that's right. Duh, the notes are right there. 12 years federal, 3 years of unsupervised release. Oh, no, 3 years of supervised release after that. Is that what that means?
Yes.
So he stole $100 million.
Yeah.
His crimes were he stole and diverted 20 million in small business payroll and tax funds to company accounts. And he stole it to pay back other loans that he extended himself on.
Wow.
Right. And me and Walt went back and forth with this. Like, it's a good case, but there's not a lot of payroll solves here. We love the case because it's a payroll company, and it's more of a warning for business owners, right? Being that we're wrapping this season up for business, fit in really nice. Like, beware. And this one, that first crime where he stole, think about it. He stole the money after you pushed the button, after you sent payroll. Like, you think you're safe at that point, right? Nope. Company swept the money out, and then instead of paying the people, pay the employees with that money, or file your taxes, right, as they should, he diverted it and paying back. He literally, that whole borrowing from Peter to pay Paul type deal.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, he didn't even borrow, he robbed. Word up. So the only safeguard here is insurance as a business owner, and we did look it up. There's a payroll insurance out there, so dig deeper. But there is a such thing. You can probably cover your payroll liability in that way. So if it does get stolen after, you can still get your people some money. I mean, what a horrible thing to have to deal with, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because the impact of that was thousands of employees nationwide not being able to be paid. Even some of those small businesses that he stole from had to close their doors as a result of this,
That's crazy, man.
as a result of what he did. So it's
Imagine
just
you
bad.
shutting down businesses.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
So
man.
the second one was he took loans worth millions of dollars with banks and wasn't able to pay those loans back. So one situation in particular is what he had a $42 million line of credit with some place called Pioneer. And Pioneer ended up losing $34 million of that money
Oof.
that they created a line of credit for him for, and so they had the greatest losses of all out of all his victims, all of everyone that was impacted, they had the greatest loss.
So what was crazy was the emails they were going back and forth in the bank, right?
Yeah.
And they were talking about this after the fact. And the emails, sidebar, your company emails are discoverable. So be careful what
Mhm.
you're putting in your work emails. But anyway, that was the funny part. They were going back and forth and they were like, oh man, we're probably going to lose this money. Like, oh my goodness, and complaining and stuff. And yeah, y'all lost 34 million. This dude, I'm over here trying to get $42 of credit. And he got 42 million and blowing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
Jeez.
you see his email examples down there where he was speaking to someone at the bank, like telling them, hey, can we just skip this step? Like,
But,
and like the person at the bank should have been like, okay,
but what was the step though?
I don't know. I don't know. What did you read about it?
No,
What
yes, it
was it?
said yes. They were trying to like review his accounts and stuff like that. It was like a vetting step. Now you
Mm,
got me forgetting, but it's in there. It's in the article that you says right before it. It was like a necessary step that banks go through for these loans and for this stuff. And he's like, no, let's we good, we homies. Let's just skip it. Don't worry. And literally,
wow.
he went. It was a friend of his at one of these banks that were doing it, like, or rather, I'm sorry, a schoolmate. May not have been a friend, but in your network, right? You thinking you're reaching out, like, oh, home, he's gonna cover me, whatever.
Hmm.
And that's why it's dangerous sometimes to do business with friends. Like you gotta have really good expectations and integrity, and let folks know, hey, I gotta treat you like a customer, right? Don't expect anything here. So especially you got a job, you can't be, I'm gonna hook up my boy. No, it's not how.
Yeah,
That's not how it goes. Not at a bank.
especially at that this person that he emailed was a vice president. It said
Yes,
the vice
yes.
president at this company, and this dude is telling you to do something shady. So, as an officer of the company or whatever, you need to make sure that you don't allow your emotions or anything like that. Because sometimes people can pull in your heartstrings.
Yep.
This person. Oh, I trust this person.
Mm,
You have to remember, like Brian was speaking to, it is a business at the end of
yep.
the day. This is a
Yep.
business transaction. Your job is on the line or whatever. So I don't know what impact it had on this person either by bypassing this. Like the guy Michael Mann even responded in all caps, which is something that you don't
Yeah.
ever really do in business. Like,
For
hey,
real.
please keep this commentary between you and me confidential.
That's the red flag at a bank.
Yeah.
Really? Like yeah, exactly. At this level, at 42 million and $1 million levels, you know, and I think the trust factor, you made me think of trust, right? Trust, but verify.
Yes.
We trust, we hire our payroll people, we trust them, we get that good warm feeling when we interview them. Oh, he's a great person.
Hmm.
Sure, that's good. And maybe they establish that in working, while you work. Absolutely. Trust, but verify. And the,
Yep.
the verify part comes in the second story. We'll show you how to do some of that stuff. Because in this story, man, it's really a warning. It's really a warning out there to, again, business owners. Vet the payroll processor that you use. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You gotta really make sure that you've done your due diligence before you pick a payroll processor. And I think that's why people, or companies rather, get stuck using the big 4 or 5 that are out there, because they're
Hmm.
so right, it's so established, they're so credible, like that this is not going to happen with them. But other things happen that prevent your money from moving in
Hmm.
the name of mistakes, and sure, it gets fixed. The problem with the big guys is they're like, oh, oops, sorry. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're too big to fail. So if it hits you know what I mean? Like if these big guys mess up your payroll one day, not that they don't care, but they're like, oh, whatever, they move on, so just be careful, take the time, vet these folks, due diligence, do background checks on the owners.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess all of this probably wouldn't have made a difference here, but some insurance, I guess, try to have that insurance for your payroll where if the money gets stolen after you push the button, you can pull on something to cover it and get reimbursed. Insurance, right?
Mhm.
What else?
Yeah, the last one, he engaged in daily fraudulent kiting, which is basically bouncing checks and you know stuff
But
like that.
there was something here else though that you found the definition of kiting, because I kind of just like assumed the definition, but the actual definition is like it says the fraudulent writing of use of a check, bill, or receipt.
Hmm.
So I get that, right? If folks are creating different fake invoices to get money,
Yep.
so that I didn't know. Kiting for me was synonymous with bouncing checks.
Hmm.
But I guess in the business, right, it does, yeah, you can do fraudulent invoices, fraudulent receipts of payment, which is what Michael Mann did. He did fake AR, accounts receivable, AR.
Yes. Yes.
That's now that I'm thinking about it, that's what they were talking about in the emails and the banks. They were like, oh, this guy, what is it? When you fraudulently whatever millions in AR and accounts receivable.
Yes. Hmm.
Well, damn shame on them, man. How come you didn't call them and like, hey, do you really owe this company $5 million? All right, great.
Yeah.
Do some due diligence. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and it's probably more stringent now. I don't know. This is pretty recent. I
Well,
don't know.
think about it. He probably used his position. He was the
Mm-hmm.
CEO.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it was
True.
questioned by somebody, that he's like, "Hey, I'm the CEO. Just do what I say."
Yeah.
And so sometimes, we as professionals in the corporate sector, there's some issue with us being reactionary
Yeah.
stuff
True.
instead of like proactive.
Yep.
So like, that could be that could be the issue in this case. Yeah.
And then what brought it all down for him? Like how did he get arrested?
So for him, I think it says it there after number three,
Ah,
his scheme started to collapse in the summer of 2019 when everything came to a head, when one of his bank accounts were frozen. And it just set off a chain of events that left payroll companies unable to process payroll around the world. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So it all started with that one bank account of his being frozen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. That's like the what is it, Mystery at the Museum we did. All it took, it was one question that he couldn't answer
Hmm.
well, and that's
Hmm.
it. It all unraveled. Yeah. Yeah. What's done in the dark will come out the light, man. I tell folks let karma take care of it because,
Hmm.
you know, dang. Yep.
See, so that makes me think: was he was already stealing from the payroll companies, but then maybe he was taking out loans to try to like pay the employees a little bit.
Well,
And
I think it was a combination of both, right?
yeah,
It's just again, it was just he was stretching himself out one place, trying to cover it in another,
yeah,
really, and
okay,
just not doing the right thing with his money. Like I don't know what again, I get so curious about what these folks are doing with the bread. Like, what are you doing?
yeah.
You know?
So for our listeners out there, there really wasn't a solution for this because we try to provide a payroll solution, and this really wasn't like strictly focused on payroll issues. This happened to just be a CEO of a payroll HR company, right? So, but we would love to hear your thoughts. If we're not thinking of something, if
Word,
there's something
yes,
that we didn't think
word,
about, we didn't see, tell us like how could a payroll professional, accounting, or HR professional have stopped this earlier on?
yeah,
Could we, or was
yeah.
it just you know a
Yeah, for
lost
real.
cause?
Yeah, and if you work at a bank and you know how this stuff works, let us
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Any insight you have on it, like, would be helpful. We like to edutain, as we say,
yes,
no doubt. All right. The second one, now the second story is really something that we can dig into, and
yeah,
as payroll professionals, build, implement something that can prevent this type of crime.
yes.
So this one, Ms. Rios in Texas had a ring going on. I believe it was a trucking company that they worked for.
Yes.
This is the one that they haven't convicted yet.
Yeah, they haven't convicted these people yet.
Right. So again, it takes time. So, you know, they've been indicted for sure.
Mhm.
And
Two of them have been
again,
arrested.
right.
So
and
they are sitting in jail. They just haven't had
haven't had their day in court yet.
yes. Yes.
So, so this is one thing she did. She overpaid employees and for
Mhm.
kickbacks,
Yep.
right? To the tune of like one of them admitted to like $500,000 in
Yeah.
payment. That's pretty
Yeah.
much half of it right there.
Mhm.
That they've only got $1 million of it that they found.
Yeah, the one who got the most was her boyfriend.
Oh, of course, of course. So she stole $1 million, but I don't know how much she netted because she was splitting that money with the group of people that she was using to get the money out,
Hmm.
to steal the money. So again, this is wire fraud. It's interesting. It's not bank fraud. There's no bank fraud involved in this one,
Hmm.
right? So I think it'd be good for us to compare it to the Michael Murillo one and see
Yes.
what the
Yes.
differences are. Like, why was that bank fraud as well? And I bet it's easy. But anywho, this was just wire fraud. She's what is it? Up to 20 years in prison per count.
Yeah, she's facing 18 up to 18 counts herself.
Oof. So
And
life.
the other five people are facing 3 counts of wire fraud. So that's still up to
60
60 years.
years. Yeah.
Yep.
So again, the only one crime that she did here was overpay people.
Yeah.
And
Oh, she made payments to non-employees too.
oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, so that's not even an overpayment. Yeah. So now she is ghosting employees too. Right. And we talk about that a lot. That's a
Mhm.
common thing in payroll, people colluding,
Yeah.
right? And getting the payback, and then ghost employees,
It's
creating a fake
yes.
person to pay
Yes,
out.
it's one of those things that every seasoned payroll professional should
Yes. Should know.
account
Yeah.
for and
Mhm.
check for and know, right? It's just like, hey, even HR professionals who dabble in
Absolutely.
payroll or have dabbled in payroll over their career,
Yeah.
that's something you should look out for. It's like, hey, multiple profiles, like
Yep.
unless your system is set up that way, like where they have to have that, fine, but you should still be auditing all that
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
Because you can find somebody, like, even if it's not intentional, there could be somebody who's being paid,
Yes.
overpaid
Uh, uh, uh,
because we're not
yep.
doing an audit or something, right?
Like a legit error.
Yeah.
Yep. And that happens. And that happens. You know what I tell managers, if you're a new manager, if you're walking into a new team and the bigger they are, the more you need to validate their physical appear, like physically, like, hey, okay, this check them off and see. Because if you got a huge team and then you didn't see everybody physically, that ghost employee just keeps going, right, on the manager. So I, you know, anytime I talk to a new manager, hey, try to make sure that everybody on your roster you actually know them and you've
Yeah.
seen that you put eyes on them,
Hmm.
because that's a way to help with some of this. I mean, the other easy way is check your payroll,
Yes.
review your payroll. Money Mike in Chicago, he needed oversight, and this person, Veronica Rios over here, needed oversight as well.
Yeah, because
Um,
her position was just the payroll administrator. It
yeah,
didn't say she was the manager. I don't know how they were structured.
right. She,
Maybe she was the top billing person or
payroll
the top person
person.
in payroll
Yeah.
at the organization, and maybe she just reported to the CFO or the HR person. But there
Hmm.
was, like you were speaking to, there was no
No
oversight
oversight.
for her.
Nope. Nope. So whoever is reviewing this person has to apply some oversight. It's really it how you execute it is not important, is less important than the timing of it all, right? So if you have oversight over payroll, you want those totals, those gross numbers, before your team starts processing.
Hmm.
That is the key call out, right? It's you want it before they touch it. You don't want the payroll person to deliver your totals to you, right? You have to, if you're responsible for reviewing payroll, or if you have final word on payroll,
Hmm.
you need to get those numbers raw, straight. Like, you need to get the straight hours right out the system before your payroll person starts touching them. You need to get the gross numbers from that first preview, from that first test, that first register, whatever that document is that says, hey, we're about to pay somebody, before your team or whoever processes touches it. The
If
minute,
if the process allows you to, because I
well,
know,
how can it not?
well,
Great
there
call out, but how can it not?
you know that there's sometimes where you might not have the luxury of time based on your company or anything. It's not an excuse, right? But
Yeah.
like we all have to practice time management as professionals, right, in a corporate setting. But there are times where you could have meetings all day, you could have this all day. Your workload, you may not have enough bandwidth for your team, and you're already stretched out because you could be missing a person. Like there's different scenarios that may come up, in my opinion, that prevent you from doing that on a consistent basis. Now, if your team is fully staffed and everything like that, then yes, you should find a way, as Brian said, as you said, they should find a way to do that prior to the payroll becoming finalized. If you could do it in multiple ways, that would be even better.
But guess what? You don't even need to do it. All you need is that file saved, untainted,
Gotcha.
and secured to you, right? Because I get it, right? You didn't get to do it this week, right? But
Mm-hmm.
guess what? If something happens in the payroll that week, or if you circle back after payroll processes,
Mm-hmm.
and those gross numbers are different, and those hours are different, and they can't explain the differences,
Mm-hmm.
huge red flag.
Yep.
And now you need more. Now you have to oversight, right? Some
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Absolutely. We usually don't mention the big guys, but ADP, right, has pay data reports that you can preview that once something is in a batch for that applicable pay period or check date, you can take a snapshot like you were saying, run that report across all the different companies and just save it down, and that'd be for you to review. You can say
yeah,
preview
yeah,
payroll,
yep.
and then take another snapshot to see what changes, and you can compare that afterwards.
Well,
Right.
see, afterwards, I'm gonna have my team prepare the report for me. I'm gonna say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I want gross totals, I want hours, etc. Right? And then now I can just go back to the raw data, and then I can shoot back to them like, hey, this is off from the original. Please
Yeah.
explain these differences, itemized,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now I can dig in and be like, okay, oh, who's this person? And then you can do some due diligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that yes, it can get busy at times and crunch and lot, and you don't get to do it in advance of payroll. But if you're diligent about the documentation of it all, right, one of the pillars, and get it saved, and you may have to build something, you may have to get it from your provider, you may have to get a third party IT person to be like, hey, before my payroll processing people start touching this, you have to pull this for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I give them the okay to go, right?
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. So however that is, that like that's what you got to do. You know, if you're the payroll person, if you're a payroll manager over the team, then you have the ability to do this for yourself. Again,
Yep.
even if you don't have the time, to Walt's point, tough week, be diligent about saving it, labeling it, so that when you can circle back, you know where, oh, here's my 330 batch, you know, maybe mid-April, but I'm going to circle back now and look at my gross totals, right? But to your point, I'm going to challenge you here, right? Because I know you do a gross check process that you can't afford not to do.
So there's been times where I've caught where my payroll processor has uploaded two
Two
time
back,
files,
double batches, right?
and they forgot to go delete one because they're
Yep.
processing so many, and the person's payroll, like, it looks like the variance is skyrocketed. Like, geez, why did the variance double?
Mm-hmm.
Why does the payroll look double from last payroll? You
Yeah.
know,
And
so
it's not a mistake. And remember, I say what could have been mistakes. If you catch it
yes,
before it actually hits, it's not a mistake. You
yes,
caught it.
yes,
It's not a
yes,
mistake, right? So
yeah.
that's the beauty of doing these audits, these
Mhm.
reconciliations, these data validations, because they all mean different things, folks. I'm going down rabbit holes with these definitions, and audit and
Yeah.
reconciliation is not actually comparing two data sets. So anywho, data
Okay.
validation, whatever that is.
So you say you want to
So
go to you're going to challenge me? Well,
that no,
challenge me.
that was it. The
Oh, okay,
challenge
okay.
is because you said, "Hey, I may not have time sometimes," but there's one check, that check
Oh,
you have to do.
I
You
was I
do
wasn't
it.
saying for me. I wasn't saying for
No,
me.
but
Yeah,
still, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Or okay, I'm sorry, challenge the concept, because you can't be that payroll person. Not you, but any of us should not be the payroll person to say I didn't have time. Because guess what?
Agreed.
That's not going
Agreed.
to save your job.
Agreed.
I didn't have time to do it.
Agreed. Agreed.
That is not. Now, if you do say, hey, dang, I didn't have time that week. I usually do it all the time. Murphy's Law, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
but I have my docs, and I did
Yes.
catch it after the fact, right? When I circled
Mhm.
back, I didn't catch it in real time. I didn't prevent it, but I discovered it, identified it, and I'm bringing it. So the challenge is there are some of these that you can't afford not to do, and
Absolutely.
you know that you do
I,
stuff like that, right?
so like, yes, like you can do what you can. At the end of the day, do what you can. What's everything that's within your power as a payroll professional at these businesses to prevent any errors from happening. That's the most you can do
Yes.
until if you're in a situation where you have the control of auditing, but in the situations where you can't, you have to understand if you can't catch it before, okay, that's fine, but you should still do an audit afterwards to what you were saying to be
Yeah.
able to go and catch that thing after,
Yep.
because if you do the audit the day of after you hit the button, the accept button, or the day after, you still may have time
Yes.
to pull that payment back if it's direct deposit, or you can still put a stop payment on that check
Yeah.
that's been sent out. So you can still prevent a pay error.
You can address it in a more timely fashion and not waiting. Yeah. To your point, look, there are things that are beyond our knowledge. Like we don't know what we don't know. And I'm
Yes.
sure, it's a common issue with payroll folks to have to deal with, not getting information timely and, oh, why didn't you all do this? And well, one, not all errors are our errors, right? Our payroll errors. Yes, that's where it starts, and then we tell folks, if you have a problem, start with your payroll person, because the good payroll people are going to get you where you need to be, right?
Mhm.
But with that being said, some of it is just goes back to the employee. Like, hey, did you request time off?
Yeah.
Oh no, I forgot. All right, well, that's why you didn't get it. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Yep.
So stuff like that. Sidebar. I do. That's why I do like one of the systems out there have like a employee driven payroll approval. Like they
Yes.
have oversight
Yes.
of their payroll all
Yes.
the way to
Yes.
the end, and I think
Yes.
that is the future, right?
Oh,
We should
yes.
be responsible for our own stuff,
Yeah.
right? Stop blaming it. Oh, y'all messed my check up, my man. No, 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 no. You saw your stuff before it got approved. You
Uh-huh.
approved it. That's it. Now, hey,
Or you
it'll get
didn't,
fixed on the next, or you
or
didn't.
you didn't
Right,
approve it.
right, right. Or you didn't on time, right? So it got
Yeah.
processed as is.
Yep.
That correction is going to be on next payroll. Thank you.
Yep. Mhm.
So again, with these folks, with this, back to Veronica Rios over here, easy check. You got to check your gross balances, your total hours before and
Mhm.
after, right?
Yep.
And before means before your whoever's processing payroll touches those files, because at that
Yeah.
point, that's it. It's could be tainted. What
Yeah.
if they're criminal, what they're showing you is tainted. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. And most of these things, they will show you any changes to an employee inside the payroll batch. There's reports that say, hey, employee changes, and you can see who did what.
Yep.
Some other payroll systems, they even show you the date stamp and who did it
Hmm.
at what time, down to
Yep.
the second.
Audit trails.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
Audit
like,
trails.
there's always a way that, for most payroll systems,
Yep.
depending on what you use, there's always a way that you can track it down to the person
Yep.
who did it.
Yep.
And
Yeah. Absolutely.
at the end of the day, it boils down to, for this case, that there was no oversight at
Yep.
all.
Yep. No oversight. Simple data validation checks that can be done before or after, depending on time, right?
But a good accounting team would have probably have caught this as well, right? If they like looked at the numbers for the payroll, like, man, why this payroll is like up? Like,
Yes.
was there any rate increases? Was there any bonuses paid? Like, why are the wages up, but the employee count hasn't changed? That's why I praise our current controller now and the CFO we have now at where we're at, because they're meticulous with their
Hmm. As they
questions and
should be.
what they
Yep.
want. So
Yep.
I appreciate them. Shout out to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we keep each other honest, right? The checks and balances of it all. As we say, payroll is its own entity, but we are
Yeah,
absolutely partnered with HR and finance.
yeah,
So, and they're the folks, inputs, outputs, checks, balances, in that three department ecosystem. All the magic should happen
yeah.
for sure.
So right now, even on the Department of Justice site, it says that the FBI is investigating the case still.
Oh, dang. Oh, wow. Yeah. More. Oh, see? more than $1.4 million. So now the number gets a little. So again, stuff like this, you don't know. You catch what you catch, because
Yes.
going back 6 years or however 4 years she did it, you don't know all the little things that she did to get money out the door. You found one thing and you pulled on it, and yep, I got it. Oh crap! What is one? And at a certain point, companies might be like, well, enough is, don't look anymore.
So I don't know if we have time to, but let's think about the ways that she potentially could have done it. So, like how could she have done it in the system? So she could have changed the
Oh
rate,
yeah. So
right?
so the overpay part.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Change the
Could have
rate,
changed
more
uh
hours,
more hours, yeah.
negative deductions.
Yes. Taxes, no, that includes taxes, right?
Well, I feel like they haven't found the tax part yet, because that, I think maybe that would have been a separate charge again.
Charge.
Like
Okay.
Money Mike, he did taxes. He's got wire fraud and bank fraud.
Tax fraud too, I think.
No, it's bank fraud.
Bank
These
fraud?
guys have tax. One of these folk. No, the CEO got the tax fraud.
Yes. Okay.
So Money Mike is bank fraud and wire fraud, and probably because he was messing with the taxes, with the bank fraud. Because remember, the way the system is supposed to work, the banks hold that money too, that tax money. So
Yes.
they're involved in that step. So it could be that probably why the charges changed there. So again, like Walt said, all the ways she could have overpaid, more changed the rate, additional earnings, like, oh, this person got a stipend for this, or a extra payment for that. Here's a bonus for this, or something that was regular. Because again, I think as a trucking company, maybe she's playing with mileage or stuff like that, stuff that's normal.
Those exception payments.
The danger, exactly. The exception payments. It's like my wife always says, was dangerous, right? Is when you use the truth to tell lies.
Yes.
Right. And that's what she did, right? These payroll people are just using the truth and the checks to tell lies and steal money.
Yeah.
It's the controls that catch it. So it would have been rates, hours, negative deductions. And for those of you, if there's a novice payroll person out there that keep wondering why we say negative deductions, think about it. A deduction is a negative. When you do a double negative, it's a positive, right? It's giving money back to the person. It increases on the net. What's dangerous about negative deductions is it's not in the gross.
Yep, it's not.
That's what's really dangerous and makes people uncomfortable. It's not in the gross. It's in the net.
Good
only.
call out. Good call out. Yep.
Okay, so that's why finance don't like negative deductions. You see me? Because it's hard for them to find it and to even justify, like, why are you doing that? Well, most of the time it's just a fix of something, but there are a few that are normal. Like the one I can think about is like reimburse expenses, stuff like that, kind of go through negative deductions. And it's an easy way to circumvent taxes.
Yeah.
And right. So and that's another reason why we don't like that. Auditors don't like that. And like, whoa. You can only do it if it's a qualified, a tax-free item already. Right. And reimburse expenses that flows to the company's, thing. So rates, hours, negative deductions. That's all I could think of, really.
Yeah, and then the ghost employee thing, paying out employees is
ghost employee. Yes, that's a fake person, right? It's a fake employee. That you got to build socials, and then I don't know how long you get away with that, because after the first year of W-2s, I would imagine some red flags are going to pass. Oh, it's a good way to get rid of ghost employees. The Social Security Administration offers a service, and you can upload, I believe, up to 250,000 lines, something like that, of Social Security numbers, and the Social Security will validate them.
Nice.
Right?
Free game for you guys.
Free game for you, yes. So that and do it, and you can do it at any time in the year, I believe. So you want to do it mid-year, you want to do it mid-year in preparation for W-2s, because you want to make sure that your company doesn't have any ghost employees. And then it makes me think about the Chipotle case years ago. Chipotle was hiring illegal immigrants, and they were stealing Social Security numbers from people that died already.
Yep.
Or babies. You know what I mean? So like, this person's 4. How are they working for you? Yep. You know what I mean? This person's dead. How are they working for you? Excuse me.
Yeah.
So Chipotle had a big issue with that years ago. So that's again, if you load your Social Security to the Social Security Administration, they have a service, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It can vet out. It can pop any red flags. ADP, we're talking about ADP today. Okay, fine, we'll throw them in there. I don't know if others do it, but ADP has a service or whatever, a function that calls out bad Social Security numbers at the end of the year in preparation.
Yeah.
Hey, you got 001. It's all zeros and a one.
Mhm.
Clearly that's not right. So that is a little helpful, but
Yeah.
that doesn't call out the ones that are real, right? That is from a dead person or a baby. They don't catch that because that's a real Social Security number.
Mhm.
So that might be a call out to every payroll company. Can you build in the function to vet Social Security numbers to validate them?
Yep.
Right.
Great call outs, man. Great call outs.
Yeah.
Did we mention termed employees? Like her, if she paid, even if they were termed in the system.
Is that what she did too?
I'm asking.
Oh,
I'm
no.
saying
I didn't see it.
the ways that she could. We're talking about the ways that she
Oh, the way
potentially could
yes,
have.
that would have been another way as well. Yeah, like Money Mike did. Money Mike was paying term and employees, who knows what.
Mhm.
So that's another way also. So yeah, being I guess that they haven't been convicted. There's not a lot of
Not a lot.
info.
Yeah. And folks, we're gonna come back to some of these cases, these true crimes, and rehash them and like let you know any updates that we find. So we'll probably come back and like discuss this a little bit later on, and just let you know exactly how they did it. Maybe in a quick update or something like that, or a review. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I'm fascinated with it all. I'm gonna actually look for some. We're gonna look for help, like reporters that can kick back some info on this stuff because it's hard to find it. We're not criminal reporters, so
Mhm.
we want the updates. So we are going to look for the resources on that. If you know
Yeah,
how to do it, hit us up.
please do.
Yeah, you could be the team reporter.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was looking at the case just to see. Like, they don't even say how she got caught.
No, they didn't. Nope, not at
One
all.
guy, they did get one person to sing though, right? They got somebody to like
Her
to.
boyfriend. Her boyfriend admitted.
That's right. You did
Yeah,
say that.
her boyfriend. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, her boyfriend. Yeah,
The
he's
one.
like, hey, me and my girlfriend, she did it. She's the payroll person. Her.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that was it. Yeah, but we're definitely gonna try to follow back up on these because they're very interesting. I do want to see what happens. I would love to go as far as even interviewing some of these folks and be like, why did you do it? How did you start? How did it start? And why was because like
Yeah,
it's like how did it start? Because once you've done it and you gotten away with it, it doesn't matter why you did it the first time.
yeah,
Human nature is gonna take you to a bad place after that.
yeah,
Because you're gonna be like, I got away with it, so I could do it again.
yeah.
So anywho, that's how you would find this Veronica Rios overpayment type deal. Again,
Hmm.
earnings, hours, extra payments, additional earning codes. That's why we like to minimize how many earning codes are in our system because and what's the one that we don't like? Miscellaneous.
So
No
no.
miscellaneous codes in
We
your
don't
life.
like it. We
Nope.
don't like it. Counting likes it even less.
Don't even less. Even less.
Yeah,
Some folks love it. Ooh,
yeah,
miscellaneous. Whoa, whoa,
yeah.
whoa, whoa. And it's that folk is usually not a payroll or accounting person. So
Mhm.
delete is miscellaneous and
Yeah,
sunset that code on any validation table on any database, whether it be earning code or deduction code.
that's your code. Yeah.
No miscellaneous. You have to
Mhm.
define. And this is again back to the 5 pillars of payroll documentation,
Yeah,
right? As a payroll professional, you need to know why you're paying this out because guess what? This fraud could be happening from a manager that's using you as a tool
hmm,
to get it done. Hey, pay this out. And then maybe
yep,
you just kind of like trust that. Or what are those emails that we get a lot? Hey, my direct deposit is bad. Can you pay me out this? And it looks like it's coming from the CFO, but if you
yeah.
look at the email, it says,
Email.
I'm a crook.com at gmail.com. Like you gotta
Yeah.
just look at the email address, folks. We
Uh-huh.
probably got to do a show on that, just how folks try to attack the payroll department on
Yeah.
fraud stuff.
I'm sketchy1 at
Yeah,
gmail.com.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's really easy. You just got to be now. since we have employee self-service,
Hmm.
excuse me, I don't even entertain those emails. I
Oh.
delete immediately, because I know it's not from
Hmm.
anybody internally, because everybody knows we have employee self-service. You just go and update your stuff, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
if you didn't know, that email would come through a different channel or from a company email address.
Hmm.
So be
Man,
careful about that. Be careful
you
about,
are educating today, sir. Yes,
well,
sir.
right. We're
I love it.
edutaining.
Yes, yes, yes.
Don't get used as a tool from a VP
Yes.
that you think is doing the right thing. They could be overpaying somebody and using you as the tool for it. So get backup.
Yes.
Get your backup.
Do
Get your approvals.
do your job.
Yeah.
Do your job. At the end of the day, you are responsible for people's pay
Yeah.
as a
Yep.
professional. So it's
Yep.
a part of your job to make sure that you're protecting your customers. They're our
Yeah.
customers at the
That's
end of
right.
the day. You
That's
know,
right.
like even the ones, even our coworkers, like you said in a previous episode, Brian, they are our customers. Even our peers are our customers, right?
That's right.
Like we need to protect our peers, our customers out there. And we need to protect the company at the end of the day
hmm
as well. So if somebody's doing something wrong, not just our job alone, but it's part of our job as payroll professionals to make sure that we're capturing all those different potential pitfalls and oversights that people may try to, because yes, it happens all the time where I and I know we're going down a rabbit hole here, but like you said, there was a manager or a VP or somebody out of the location that's telling you that, well, they used to let me do this at my old place
Yeah,
of work.
oh, mm-mm.
They used to let me do this at the old. They used to let me do this here. They used to let me do that here. And you don't want to go down that slope, And as a company or a payroll professional, you want to make sure that you're doing things according to the processes that are set up and that your processes are efficient and correct at
Yep.
the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That excuse of that's the way we always did it, that's not a good excuse.
Mhm.
It's good to understand the legacy of things so that you can move forward and change it.
Yeah.
Because right, how you got here is not how you're gonna get there.
Yeah, you can sing Montel Jordan to them. This is how we do it.
Or what Lorian has a phrase that say, "This is the way."
Yes. There you
This
go.
is the way.
We got some extra nuggets for you about payroll, but
Exactly. This
let us
whole
know
time
your thoughts.
I was looking at the links too to see if I could, they don't say how she
Nope.
got caught.
Nope.
I want, but they do lead. One of the articles leads with the boyfriend saying immediately,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
maybe he just got mad and was like, you know what, you ain't gonna give me no more. I'm done with this. I'm telling on your ass.
No. No.
Uh,
That's how people are, man. When these things happen, it's automatic. Like, hey, me or you, self
yeah,
preservation.
that's
So
that's right. All right, man. That's it, folks. I hope you liked it. I think that right. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It's a
share
good
your
one.
thoughts. Let us know
Yeah.
how you feel about the video. Do you like it? Want to see more
Yes.
of it?
About payroll. It's about people. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about payroll people.
Yep.
So I hope you enjoyed, folks.
Yeah.
Till the next time.
Till next time.
Peace, man.